Had been hoping for some winter sun. Joining me now is Jill Starley-Grainger, the former editor of Which Travel. Good to see you. I mean, it's yet more bad news, isn't it? Just as the travel and tourism industry was getting back on its feet.
Yes, it's very bad news, but it's not 100% unexpected. Even when the government removed all the countries from the red list, amber list, and green list, it said that it could easily put them back. So you do have to be aware that this could happen for any country at any time in the future. So you need to make these backup plans if you are booking any trips.
One or two of the experts we've been speaking to in the last 24 hours are suggesting that perhaps it is a bit of an overreaction, this travel ban, given the amount of disruption it's going to cause to the economies of those countries in Africa, and especially given that, that the cat is already out of the bag. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not a doctor, so I would assume that proper medical professionals have been consulted. But given the fact that the EU and the US have also now joined this, it seems like it's going to be a temporary travel ban. It has caused lots of chaos. But given the fact that so many countries have felt the need to put this in place, at least temporarily, suggests to me that maybe it's a necessary precaution just for the short term until they can get things under control. Whether it's required to put people back into quarantine hotels instead of allowing them to quarantine at home, that's another issue altogether.
Yeah, where do people stand on that issue? Does insurance cover quarantine hotels?
So some insurance policies had brought in cover for this, so you need to check. Most of them did not, but some of them had brought in policies that said, if you were caught overseas when this happened, then they would pay for your quarantine hotel. So check the fine print carefully. But if you are still planning a trip, so let's say you were due to travel to South Africa in the next few weeks and you still choose to go, it's highly unlikely that your insurance policy would cover you. Although in the past, what we found is that some policies would. So, if you really need to go, there are pressing reasons. Lots of people have family in South Africa that they desperately need to see. If you still need to go, check your insurance policy. Don't just take off and assume you'll be covered.
Have travel firms become much more adaptable over the last couple of years? Are they now more willing to take COVID as a reason for people wanting to change their travel plans at the last minute?
Yes and no. In some cases, some travel companies are being very flexible, but some of the others not so much. However, in the short term, certainly while this ban is in place, almost anybody who booked a flight plus holiday, and that means flight plus hotel, flight plus car hire, or flight plus cruise, you would be covered for cancellations in the short term, but definitely call your operator to check before you just cancel your trip. Flights have currently been suspended over the next couple of days, but they will resume again. And people are always baffled by this. Why are there flights running when it's a red list country? And that's because flights have to operate for many other reasons other than just leisure tourism. There are people who have to go for business reasons. There are people who have to go for all sorts of reasons that would still be allowed, and maybe they are just going there to stay there. So some flights will still be running. Most of the airlines have said that they will be very flexible and allow you to either rebook or to get a voucher for future use. However, it is worth waiting to see if the airline cancels your flight, because if they cancel your flight, you are automatically due a refund that should come to you within 7 days, although in the past, experience has shown you will have to claim it for sure, and then do check, because they aren't necessarily the best at paying back within 7 days.
And is the industry planning for more countries to go on to the red list? It's something that is perfectly feasible, isn't it, in the next few days?
Yeah, definitely. So currently for the UK, there are only 6 southern African countries. The EU and the US have brought in 2 more, Mozambique and Malawi. So it's entirely possible that those might go back on. Again, this could happen with any country anywhere. Who knows what other countries might be added at any point. Hopefully, like the gentleman said earlier, this will be a temporary measure and it won't go on for months, but who can say?
Yeah, that's a difficulty, isn't it? It's simply unknown at this stage. Good to get the advice from you, though. Jill Starley-Grainger, former editor of Which Travel, thank you. Let's return to the other big news of the week, the death of 27 people after the dinghy they were using to cross the